Cat Dungeons. Apple disappoints again, and Star Trek turns 50. This is Modern Retro.
Courtney just sent me a photo of the outside of the closet right now as soon as I walked in.
And
I'm forwarding you the picture.
oh, okay. Let's take a look at that. That is creepy. That's gotta go. He's like locked in his closet. So, welcome to Modern Retro, ladies and gentlemen. this picture that Aaron just sent us. He's locked in his quote unquote studio. We're in our quote unquote studio. So his studio
one's a closet and one is a cat dungeon.
Yes, a cat dungeon. Well, by this picture, that's a cat dungeon.
True, yeah.
So he just sent us this picture. We'll post it on the Facebook page so everyone can have a laugh with us. He records in a closet, literally in a closet. The closet door is shut. The vacuum is either in front of the door or sealing it shut. I can't quite tell. And then there's a stool with his cat that is always on LSD. And now the cat's back is facing
The camera.
The camera, but those eyes, those fucking eyes. I've never seen a cat whose eyes are gonna roll out of its fucking head like that. I can only imagine it sitting there staring at the door, and the door looks like it's probably like molten blue lava.
Well, its expanded pupils are probably sucking in so much light that it can see through that fucking wall.
It's just watching him sit
It
there.
really is.
Well, Courtney, my fiance, says she's throwing her head back up in the air and howling and meowing like a wolf because I'm in the closet and she's not in here.
Well, that's pretty good gain on your end because I can't hear her howling at all.
Yeah, make sure your levels are all set. That last episode hurt my ears.
Yes, I know. I spent like a good 30 minutes before Roy got here to make sure that all the levels were good. I checked the levels. I have my automatic level control on. I'm a good distance from it. I fixed the problem where I had to plug in an extra thingy in the hole so we could hear you. Now we can hear you through the headphones and the microphone, and everything's golden. I'm looking at the levels, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. And like I said,
Huzzah!
this is Modern Retro, the podcast. As you can
We
tell,
finally did it.
as you can tell, this is a podcast of just random, nerdy, geeky bullshitting. This is you and your friends. We're your friends. We're your friends. Sitting around.
Be friends with us.
You are?
Well, we're not your friend.
We need friends.
We're sitting around, drinking, talking, hanging out. And that's what this podcast is. Yes,
That's
cheers.
right.
That's what this podcast boils down to, is just hanging around and just bullshitting, which is what everybody does, except you're listening to us at work, most likely.
The funny thing is, I just saw the look on Aaron's face in my mind when we clinked, beer bottles, and he was just like, "Oh,
I'm not there.
I don't have one. I'm not there."
He has his.
I'll just drink my scotch in peace.
I was gonna say, do you still have that whiskey and like the weird, like fake glass gun?
Yes. With some. And it wasn't whiskey, it was tequila.
Oh,
And it was awful.
yeah. When the tequila tastes like whiskey,
I think it
there's a
melted the
problem.
glass, actually. I don't think I have it anymore.
It melted.
No, I think the tequila melted the glass.
Just leaked out. Just syrup. Tequila syrup.
Ooh, nasty.
Put that on pancakes.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Mexican pancakes.
What would go into Mexican pancake?
Tequila?
The hatred of Donald Trump.
Yeah, but is that
How do I-
edible? Do you really want to eat that?
Yes.
Wow, your face was
You're
so
going to build
straight.
a wall around the pancake with syrup.
It's a glorious pancake wall.
I'm going to make Aunt Jemima pay for it.
It's double the racism right there. As he sways back and forth in Aunt Jemima's church.
God, his hair just...
You know how I like my pancakes. Huge.
You almost went a little JFK there for a second.
A little bit. I tried to turn away from the Quimby and it just kind of went JFK.
Pronounce chowder French, eh?
Say it again.
Say it, chowder. Oh, so let's talk about let's talk about Apple. 2/3 of us here are of the cult of Apple.
Little fucking apple heads.
I don't know if that's a proper term.
One of us.
No, but hold
The
on.
nighttime is the right time.
But see, the complaint that you have is the complaint that you just nailed me for like 2 weeks ago with my Samsung S7. What was my complaint? Do you
Is that the
remember?
one that's exploding in people's pockets?
That's the Note 7.
Ah.
The one that I wanted.
Well, good thing you didn't get it.
Yeah. There's a great meme of it shows it's a panel picture where it shows a soldier under attack, and he's like, "Sir, we're all out of grenades." And then his sergeant looks over. He's like, "God damn it, boy! Throw the notes." So it's just him just throwing notes, and they're just exploding.
Oh. Yeah, Samsung said it was heartbreaking. Their thing about exploding notes. I mean, like, I don't think heartbreaking is what. I mean, maybe because they said like they're tens of billions of dollars they're going to lose on it, so that probably is heartbreaking to them. But I'd be like, sorry. I would be like, this is just sorry for anybody who had that thing in their pocket and it scorched your balls.
Well, they're just gonna have to pick up where they left off and try to solve that mistake. Yeah, I mean, my phone is not a bad phone. I got the Samsung S7, and it's a good phone. My only complaint is the complaint that you're gonna have is that it's not innovative.
Yes.
You know, it's the same thing as my last one, which was an S5. There's no difference.
Yes. I mean, and that's I think a problem across the spectrum. But yeah, today was Apple's fall technology dump release party, which used to be cool. Like, I mean, up to like three years ago or so, you'd be like, oh, Apple's gonna announce the new phone. I can't wait to see what it is, and you get so excited, and you'd be live streaming the event while you're working and everything like that. It's just gotten so disappointing. Yeah. So the much anticipated iPhone 7. So I have an iPhone 6, and Aaron, you have the S6.
6 Plus
6
or
Plus,
6S?
yeah. You have the slightly newer version that I have, and we've been of the cult of Apple for a decade plus. Like,
Graphic designers.
yes, and it's our air. It's what we live off of. I love Apple. I love Apple products, but honestly, they just have not been exciting in a while. I mean, the iPad Pro is cool because you can draw on it with a $100 stylus pen, which is worth it because it's like much more accurate than any other stylus pen and everything like that. But it's like, you haven't done any. It looks better. It's a little faster. And that's the same thing with.
That's about the only thing that I think I've been excited for recently in recent Apple history is that the Apple iPad Pro with the pen stylus. But
excited,
Wacom has
but
been
not.
doing that. So it's not as innovative as you'd think it'd be, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something I would invest in if I didn't have a Wacom already.
Yeah, it is, but it's all. That's what it is. It's like, oh, that's cool, but it's not like mind blowing how the iPhone was mind blowing when
Well,
the
of
first
course.
one came out. I mean, even up until the iPhone 5.
But do you think that's because of a lack of vision or just literally a plateau in the technology right now?
I think it's a little bit of both. I don't think what's his name, Tim Cook, has the vision of Steve Jobs.
He's not Steve Jobs. Hell, even I know that. I know the guy had something special.
Right.
He was by all accounts, a complete dickhead.
Oh,
not a good father. But hell, I guess he could make he knew how to make a phone.
Right, and that was the trade off of his genius, is that he was a social prick.
Well, there's always a give and take.
He brought us technology that we probably wouldn't even have for another good 10, 20 years. I mean, who's to say if without Steve Jobs going back to Apple and that big boom of the early 2000s, I don't think we'd be technologically where we are right now.
Think we'd still be at flip phones?
I think we'd still be at flip phones because Steve Jobs had the balls to just be like, no, this is what we're going to do. And people are going to just want it because I'm going to tell them they're going to want it. And then once you do it, you're going to be like, wow, this is awesome. Yeah, it's just completely different things. Because I remember like right around like the first iPhone came out and it was really like, whoa, touchscreen, that's fucking cool. And then the first Droid came out and you're like, oh, cool, a cheaper version.
Oh, but it was clunky as shit.
Oh yeah, I had that. I think it was just the Droid. It was just called simply the Droid, and it had like the flip up keyboard, and I thought that was cool because I'm like, I don't know if I'd like a complete touch screen and no keyboard.
I don't know about these touch screens.
Damn touch screens are all fidgety.
How slippery do?
What the maple syrup and all.
What do I do when I just wash my hands? Do I have to touch the phone? I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
Almost went a little Bill Cosby there.
He was in court today.
And the hopping.
And what the happened in the cell phone screens and the
pleading
hands.
with the not and the guilty. I don't know. That wasn't even Cosby sounding.
I rolled with it, man. It was good enough.
So, we digress. The iPhone 7 came out, and nobody was excited for it. I mean, even the Apple stock slipped even before they announced it because for months everybody has known what it was going to be. It's just kind of one of those things where you're like, I hope there's a secret surprise that we don't know. Like, what again, sort of.
Yeah, normally they like at least keep it under. Like they'll leak. Like some stuff will leak, and you'll get a general idea of where they're going. But there's always like that last thing where like Steve Jobs probably went, all right, everything's fucking out on the internet. We got to come up with something.
No, but that's not even. It's like again, the big difference between Steve Jobs and Tim Cook was Tim Cook. He must run the company a little looser because I knew what the iPhone 7 was going to have a year ago. We knew what it was going to look like a year ago. And when Steve Jobs was alive, remember like the iPhone 5, like an employee left it at the bar or something like that, and then like a reporter like took it or took pictures or something. He wrote an article
like
Gizmodo in the fucking
Gizmodo.
Gizmodo, and then like the fucking SWAT team like burst through his windows and tore down his door in the middle of the night because Steve Jobs was like, "Get that motherfucker."
Dude, that's amazing.
It's amazing and terrifying at the same time. That's how secret Apple used to keep the shit. I mean, I remember that. Like, oh, look at a picture of an iPhone 5. Oh my god, it looks so different. That's amazing. And then this dude, like, he's like, they came in the middle of the night, like in V for Vendetta. And they like,
black bag on the head.
Yeah, it was funny now. Funny man.
See, my only thing is that all these phones do tend to look the same, though. I mean, they've got generally a flat back, a flat screen, unless you go with that edge that the.
Yeah, it goes over the edge by like a eighth of an inch.
I don't like it. I think it's stupid.
It does look stupid.
It not only that.
Well, I think it's like the car effect, where like back in the olden days, cars used to have like that space age look, and like it was really cool designed. But now it's just engineering standpoint, so everything gets that smooth kind of butt plug look to it, like almost like that electric razor just overtone.
I agree and disagree because I think there was a point where all cars looked exactly the same, but now there's a little more diversity in the way cars are being designed again.
Once car sales went down.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I agree. Like. That's the part of the disappointing thing about the phones is they all look the same, just they're getting bigger.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. There's tablets for that. I don't want a bigger phone. I want something fucking futuristic. I want something. What happened to this waterproof paper thin membrane that like we're seeing like Apple has patents on and stuff like that? Yeah, that's the type of phone that I want. The shit we see in what's that Tom Cruise movie? Minority Report. Yeah. Like that's the type of stuff that we should have. And I don't know if that's just us as a society jaded because we have these supercomputers in our pockets. I mean, think about it. Just think for a minute. There's an entire generation growing up that doesn't know what it was like to poop without a cell phone.
When you had to be like, oh fuck, where's my Game Boy?
Exactly.
Shit. And you're running across the house with your pants around your ankles. Like, oh no, clench.
Yeah. I mean, recently, have you ever had like If you had the shits in the age of cell phones and you just run to the bathroom and you're in there for 30 minutes, but you didn't grab your phone because you're gonna go all over your bed and your rug.
You're grabbing lotion bottles,
Exactly.
shampoo, leave-in conditioner, reading the ingredients, trying to pronounce shit. It's awful.
You know every ingredient on the back of that toothpaste, and you go, I wish I had my phone so I could look this up. It's crazy. So I mean, I don't know. I guess part of it is jadedness, but
Well, I think
I have my own conspiracies regarding it.
oh well, let's hear them.
I think it's almost it's deliberate in a fashion, because I don't like where I see our technology, like even on Facebook, like the new news reports that come out. Like I just saw a news report about NASA and that fucking moon space fucking engine that can get us to the moon in 4 hours is now actual, and it's like it works essentially. And like all these other things, like they just use virtual reality to fix people's legs who are paralyzed. Like I just saw that. There's so much advancement in our technology that I think we're years above where we actually are, but the corporations who divvy out that information, almost like the gas companies, are keeping us in this like landlocked, we're going to increment it out so we can get the most money out of you kind of shit.
I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory. I'm pretty sure that's like fact.
Yeah,
it's called.
It's just what they do, man.
Yeah, it's called capitalism.
It's maximizing your dollar.
Well, like most good conspiracies, they turn out to be true, so we'll see.
So,
Like helicopters, FEMA camps.
You know, like you hear all those stories, like the gas company, like the Exxons and Mobils have engines that can run like 1,000 miles off like one drop of water, and you're like, what the fuck? Where's that technology? Where's the money going for that?
Did you see the new Fiskar? Do you remember those smart cars a while ago that when they got wet during, I can't remember, it was in New York. They were on a barge or something like that, and they got wet and they exploded. Do you remember the smart car? The
I know
electric
smart cars, but I
electric
didn't hear
cars.
about that.
Not Teslas, but I want to say there was.
No, that's smart. It's like an actual company. They're the little tiny ones that like two dudes can pick up and move.
But these aren't the cars. They're I said smart cars. I meant electric cars.
Okay.
They were basically a competitor to Tesla, but what happened is they got. I can't remember if the boat sank or if something flooded, the dock flooded, but basically the whole parking lot of this, or the whole ship container, blew up because of these things got wet. So it's kind of like, well, no one's going to buy them now, and they kind of seem to go under. Well, now they just came back, and now they have this really cool-looking car. If you look it up,
Are they slightly waterproof like the iPhone 7?
well, they have a fucking solar panel on top, and you're supposed to be able to drive it with just the solar power. How badass is that? You don't even have to plug it in. You just get in it, start it, drive.
I guess nobody in Seattle will be able to use that.
No, but I mean places like Florida, California, the whole West Coast right up until you hit, northern Oregon.
Jesus Christ. Just murder someone over there?
Popping bottles, Aaron.
That sounded like a fucking torture scene from a Netflix show. It's like,
We're waxing our carrots. Leave us alone.
Let us be.
So
the most hated thing about this iPhone.
what are the features?
Okay, well,
Or lack thereof.
size and feel. The iPhone 7 feels pretty much the same as the iPhone 6S, because it is essentially. The home button now apparently is more sensitive and vibrates. I don't know why.
Why do you need a vibrating home button?
It's kind of like the
you
Motorola
did it
Z
right.
and OnePlus. The pressure sensitive includes taptic feedback, which just means that the app can give you 3 levels of pressure and haptic feedback. I don't know, haptic, okay. It feels like a strong buzz. This phone gets you drunk!
I was thinking more like.
See, it says water resistant. It will be water resistant like several Samsung and Sony phones, so there's like nothing new
my
about
phone's
that.
one that you can see them. They pour. What is it? Lil Wayne pouring fucking champagne.
Yeah,
on
but
it.
it's like that's what. Call me when it's waterproof.
Yes.
Because I've texted in the rain. I've taken my phone out in the rain. Things gotten soaked, and it still works fine. And it's not water resistant at all. And I have a 6. The camera is the biggest innovation. It's it's still a 12 megapixel camera, but The aperture is larger. On the bigger model, they have like a better optical zoom and a better digital zoom, and it's got two lenses and like a telephoto lens. Like that's pretty cool. But again, I'm not gonna buy the bigger one. My hand's not that big. I don't want something that big in my pocket. So that's useless to me. To Aaron, who our listeners probably don't know because they've never seen him, he is a giant and a Yeti. So maybe a giant phone would be good for him, but when you have the iPad mini, which I don't even know if they make those anymore because I don't think they sold very good, but let's assume they still have the iPad mini, why do you need a phone that's in between the size of an iPad mini and a regular phone? I mean, that's only like, what, an inch or two difference?
Don't look at me. I have no clue.
Can't look at him. The camera's not working.
God damn it.
Let's see. The other new feature is new front-facing camera, longer battery life, but they always say that. Has better speakers. Well, this is the thing I like the most. Colors. It's got a new glossy jet black and matte black finish. I'm like, wow, Apple, you're real innovators. You invented black.
Well, it's Apple black.
Yeah, it's Apple glossy black. You don't actually own it, you rent it.
Sounds like Apple Black to me.
It owns you.
Sounds like a rent-a-center.
And obviously the biggest thing that everybody's complaining about is they got rid of the headphone jack, and the earbuds are now Bluetooth.
They didn't really get rid of the headphone jack, though. You can use the Firewire to use your headphones, and they include an adapter for those who just have regular headphones, which I thought was, pretty mighty white of them.
God, I wish we had our old soundbite. Racist.
Well, I mean, now that I have access to my sound library, I do have access to those.
Nice.
But then they actually have a second set of headphones that are Bluetooth, but also a phone headset, like a Bluetooth headset for your phone that talks to people.
Yeah, and it sounds cool, but like I said, off air, how many people are going to lose these fucking things? How many people...
Oh, they're absolutely going to be lost all over the
place. They're
going
to go in the wash, dude. I've washed my headphones over a dozen times.
The thing I know, now they have a chip in it, so that's going to be fucked. They're basically making noise-canceling earbuds, but that case, though, that case is pretty fucking phenomenal, where they get like 5 hours of battery life in that headset, which is really sucky if you're doing like a 9 to 5 day job. But they have like a little pouch that's a battery pack as well that holds up to 24 hours, so you can just pop them in there and it'll recharge again, I guess over lunch break if you're fucking lucky. But I thought that was cool. But yeah, if you try running with this, or like, I don't know, you're in a hurry, you're gonna kick it down an escalator and it's just gonna go bye-bye.
It's gonna fall in the toilet. It's just fall down the train tracks. There's so many ways to lose, like, little fucking wireless buds.
The thing is, I got a wireless like a Bluetooth headset from Groupon. It was like, it came with like a little clip, and out of that little clip were the two earbuds. But they came with them for running is like these rubberized covers that go over them, and they like tuck into the folds of your ears, so they rarely ever fall out, like ever.
You know what this is reminding me of? It's this reminds me of the Cybermen from Doctor Who. How like that first episode they all had these. They were legit just giant mid-2000 Bluetooths that they had on each ear. But then like the dude like sent out a code and it brainwashed them, and they turned into like a bunch of silver Iron Mans.
Nice. See, I think at some point what's going to end up happening is we're going to... why are my levels look so low? Am I that quiet?
Yeah.
God damn it. I got to get closer. What I think is going to end up happening is they've reached a plateau on these fucking things. There's only so far you can go.
For now, I mean,
I think what's going to end up happening is that instead of... It's going to be like... I think technological grafts are going to be the next big thing. We're going to see a resurgence in the whole Google Glasses thing, and then it's going to go inside us. It's not very hard to imagine a wire, you holding your phone, plugging a wire into your phone, and then plugging a jack into like your fucking temple.
I'm glad you didn't say your butt.
That'd be a large. Why would you? See, I thought you were gonna go with pee hole because of like the jack.
No, that would hurt too much.
Dude, I think neither of them are truly pleasant. I don't know what you're into, but for me, that's generally either way. But I think that's what's gonna something more like that. You know what I mean? Instead of like how much farther can they push the technology for something that fits in the palm of your hand?
A piece of paper thing, like I said.
I mean, I think you're gonna get holographic technology before you get that what do they call it?
Execute Order 66.
Dude, how cool would that be? You're holding your phone in the palm of your hand.
Not at all.
That
would be awful because the resolution would be fucking piss poor.
No, it's only piss poor resolution in Star Wars because of the vast distances.
Yeah,
we're all on the same planet. They'll be in fucking HD.
That's a holonet. Yeah. But even if it
did you see that Tupac hologram? That thing looked damn fine.
But even if it was not like perfect HD, I would love if I called you and a little version of you popped up on my phone. Like, how cool would that be? Like, just like a little blue version, or even if it was just fully in color, just right on my phone, and I'm just sitting there looking at you talking.
Everybody would make phone calls with their hands on their hips. Just like when Vader is talking to Veers on the walker. Everybody.
Yeah.
No, I'd put you down like on my crotch and go, "Ha, you're my dick now."
A substantial improvement in size, sir.
Burn. That would be cool. And little I guess it'd be a little difficult when trying to make a phone call when you're driving, but also, I mean, that's another.
Don't hollow and drive. That's the new thing.
Yeah, no. Hollow or ticket. No, that doesn't rhyme. Definitely come up with another gimmick. But I did that. Taking it one step further, while we're in the car, the smart car, let's say, of the future, that hopefully flies. But if it doesn't, realistically, how awesome would it be to have and why don't we have this now? A nice heads-up display on our windshield, on the glass.
They do on Teslas.
On Teslas?
On Teslas,
yeah, they have a projection thing. Yeah,
they have the projection and the whole instrument panel, like the whole front of the car is like a giant iPad.
See,
the whole fucking thing.
Oh, I gotta invest in a Tesla.
They're expensive as shit.
$100,000.
No, not the new one. The new one that is it's supposed to be easy people.
38,000.
Yeah, something like easy for people to afford.
Sure, but then you probably have to buy the batteries and the hookup to the house.
Look at that extension cord. That's a 100-foot extension cord. I can charge any car with that right there.
I don't think it's gonna work.
But I mean, that'd be cool. Keep imagine driving down the street and your windshield is your heads-up display. It's telling you how fast you're going, how long the distance to your destination. If some asshole's coming up on your right, somebody's merging in your lane, you want to rear-end somebody, it targets them.
My mom always had one saying that was basically, if you ever see it in a movie, in sci-fi movies, it exists, and they're just not telling you about it.
This stuff actually exists. Some luxury cars now have the projection of like your speed and stuff like that up in the corner. Hell, I remember I had a friend who had a really shitty Beretta convertible. You had one too, didn't you?
It wasn't a Beretta. It was a Cavalier.
They had a really shitty Beretta convertible, red. Oh my god, this thing was a fucking piece of shit. But I thought the coolest thing was that his Speedo wasn't on the actual it wasn't on the gauges. It was an LCD projection from the top of the dash.
Well, see, how can it be a piece of shit if it has that? My convertible was from '86. It was a piece of shit. Because it rained more in the inside than it did on the outside.
Well, I'm just saying this technology actually has existed for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just not really that feasible. When you're looking at your windshield, hopefully you're looking at what's going on, not looking at it as if it was a screen with all this information on it. You know? Dude, some asshole's going to be like, I want to see what's going on the game. And
just keep it relevant is what I'm saying. Don't turn it into so you can see Facebook on your fucking windshield. But
fuck that shit. What they should just have is a little chip that goes in behind your ear and a sensor that as soon as your fingertips touch that steering wheel, it's like Google Glass but inside your eye, so you can see everything on a heads-up display in your vision itself, like the Terminator.
Aaron, why are you sending me pictures of Donald Trump molesting his daughter?
Because the internet had fun with it.
Jesus. That took a fucking dark turn.
It is. Like, it's, I didn't even see that.
That is weird, though. Did you see some of those pictures where she's like sitting on his lap and he's like holding her? Like it was like.
Oh my god, these are so ridiculous. So basically, I sent Cuba a link just now of Imgur, and there's a picture of Tom Cruise like going to hug his daughter or whatever, and the internet
Tom
just
Cruise, you
went
mean
to
Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. That guy.
How did you just?
I don't even know. I don't even know where I am. I'm in a dark room right now.
He's literally in the closet.
South Park. Tom Cruise is in the closet.
I will. Some of these are bad. I will.
Let me see it. Come on, let me see it.
And the internet photoshopped it so like he's not hugging his daughter. He's hugging like a Japanese body pillow, or he's hugging like Hillary.
He looks like a lonely old man hugging one of those anime body pillows.
I'll post these to the Facebook and or website, which will hopefully be up this week. So while we're on the moving away from Donald Trump and smart cars,
sorry, I derailed this right there.
Leaving the subject of smartphones, at least we don't have flip phone communication like in Star Trek: The Original Series.
I kind of want the flip phone back because then I could text and drive again. I didn't need to look at it.
That's true.
I could just feel the bumps and I could know like Braille where the numbers were. It was great.
I know.
But
I could text so fucking fast with that thing too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you could text so quickly if you know what you.
It was like when you knew when you know how to type the home row on a keyboard.
Yeah, I still don't know. I'm a hunt and peck.
Yeah, that's
kinda
right.
guy.
I was like, "Hey, set up the PayPal," and you're like, "I don't do that."
Yeah, my thumb's lost half of its mass and muscle because we went to smartphones.
What's wrong with not?
But his
trusting
forearm gained it in other places.
What's wrong with not trusting in something like PayPal? We've talked about this. Why? Why do you give me shit for that, sir?
That's a whole other hour that I don't want to get into. So I brought up the Star Trek Communicator because tomorrow, September 8th, marks the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. Happy birthday! So I know, fuck you. So no, I wanted to bring it up. I mean, that's a pretty big milestone. Star Wars is two-thirds of the way there. It's a 30th. Slightly over the 30th anniversary. Mm-hmm. I remember the 30th anniversary of Star Trek. Star Trek Voyager was still on, and Deep Space Nine. They both had a 30th anniversary episode. Both were cool. Deep Space Nine's was way better than Voyager's, but I wanted to ask you guys. Well, I'll go through each of you. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, looking back on 50 years of Star Trek, what is your relationship with Star Trek? What series did you like the most? I'll start with you, Roy, because I'm looking at you and I can't see him.
Honestly, it would have to be The Next Generation. My first memories of Star Trek, I was just a kid. I was probably 10, and my dad would watch it. You know, my dad would watch it like while we were making dinner or something or whatever. And I remember it would come on at 5 o'clock on channel 64 Fox. Do you remember that?
It was 6 o'clock. No. 5 o'clock. It was right either before or after Full House.
I can't remember if it was before or after Full House, but I do remember it was on at like 5 because it was on at dinner, and it was always meant because I was always wanted to be really interested in it, but my dad would be able to watch the TV from where the kitchen was, but nobody else could. I was like, oh, someday I will have this seat, you know?
Yeah, no, I remember that because I was in daycare. And I was the last person to leave daycare because my parents worked in Boston, and they didn't pick me up until 6. So I think it might have been, it was either 5 or 6 that it was on. And I remember the daycare girls, the ones that lived there, loved Full House. So I had to sit through 2 episodes of Full House that I can't stand that fucking show. And then it was Next Generation time, and I'm like, all right, here we go. But then I'm like, God, I hope my parents are late because even though I lived 2 minutes away, the worst thing in the world was when they came to pick me up, and I'm like, but it's in the middle of an episode, and they'd come and like, hey, how's your day? I'm like, shut up, it's commercial, let's go home. And they'd drive me home, and I'd run into the house and turn the TV on, and if I planned it just right, I didn't miss anything.
Nice. Yeah. What about
so that was your Next Generation?
Yeah, I'd have to go with Next Generation.
What do you think about the original series though that started it all?
I never watched it. I mean, I've seen episodes. But I never got into it. I feel like I was too far removed from it when I was growing up. I mean, I'm just a couple years younger than you, but it always seemed like that. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, I guess that's just what seemed feasible at that time. It didn't look. It was relatable.
Next generation.
The next generation.
Yeah.
The technology was all there, and it looked new to me. And I was like, I could be there.
Well, they're ahead of their time. Everybody had iPads.
Yeah, I know, but the sets looked modern.
Yeah.
When I would look back, like at the original series, to me that was more like a Gilligan's Island type time. You know what I mean? It was just different time periods.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I've actually been. Star Trek Beyond inspired me a little bit, and I've been skipping around to all the series. I've seen every Star Trek series more than once. I'm very familiar with all of them, but it's been a while since I've actually watched any of them. So I've been just skipping around, like looking through different seasons. I go, oh, remember that's a good episode, this is a good episode, and just stuff like that. And it's been a long time since I've seen the original series. And this is my first time actually seeing it remastered because it's on Netflix. And
how's it look?
It looks the ship and the planets and some of the effects they went back and they remastered and they look awesome.
Okay.
The ship looks great. The planets don't look like styrofoam balls that were painted and are suspended against a black background.
No.
But the sets are still terrible. The sets are still 1960s cardboard sets, and but I mean, there's some great episodes of the original series. Like last night, while I was putting together episode 2 up on iTunes, go check it out. When I was putting that episode together, I was watching City on the Edge of Forever. That's a fucking great, classic, still relevant Star Trek science fiction story. So like sometimes they just knock it out of the park. Then other times, especially when you get to season 3, it's dumb as fuck. But the thing that I've forgotten, because I watched the original series when I was younger, what I've forgotten and I am so thoroughly amused with as an adult is how much of a product of the 60s it is. It's supposed to be all inclusive. It's the 23rd century. Your race, your sex doesn't matter. I'm surprised by how many black people were on the show besides Uhura. There was I've noticed several just like random black crew members, which you didn't see in 60s television. But the show is so misogynistic. It's hilarious.
As it should be, sir.
It's hilarious. Like there's more than one episode where they're like, well, she's a woman, and she has those flaws. It's just like,
well, we're in space, sir.
Right.
There's no time for silly woman games.
And it's like all the female crew members with their mini skirts, they're constantly riding up. I'm surprised they weren't wearing like some sort of 60s version of the thong or something like that.
Do you remember in The Next Generation where the men wore those too?
The first 2 seasons, the men wore some of the crew members in the background wore the skants.
Was that doing like unitards?
Yeah,
like, it was weird.
That was the first two seasons of Next Generation were hard. What about Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise? You didn't get into any of those?
I never got into them. I tried to get into Enterprise. I never really got into Deep Space Nine for some reason. I think when that started to come out, I started getting really interested in like girls and friends.
Like I wanted to get laid.
Well, I made a lot of friends and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'll leave the Star Trek stuff alone for a while. I mean, I know that didn't quite happen that way for you, but it's okay.
Hey, what are you implying?
Trying to say I comforted you. Star Trek was your comfort on those long and lonely nights.
Yeah, and dial-up internet.
We're almost to the nipple. As it's loading piece by piece. But I tried. I remember I was probably... Chris, when did Enterprise come out? I was
2004, I think.
I was gonna say I was in high school.
We were in college, so yeah.
Yeah, I want to say I was like a junior or senior, and I tried getting into it, and I just couldn't. I remember watching the first few episodes, and then I got to a point where I was like, "This is just dog shit." The intro, everything was just
'Cause
off.
I have faith of the heart.
Just everything was off. I liked Archer.
Oh, you like him? He's the worst captain.
I didn't. Oh, yeah, but he was the best character on the show to me. I don't know. I only watched the first 3 episodes. But I also read a book, and I can't remember the name of it. But I don't know, like my grandmother bought it for me on my birthday or something, and it had to do in that timeline, and I had to go back with the Archer was sent forward into the future where it was like a Q type character. What are they called? Not Time Lords. Wow,
That's Doctor Who.
I know about the Q.
The Q or the Q?
They just the Q.
The Q, yeah.
So the Q sent him forward in time, and he ended up seeing like a statue,
This is a book?
Yes.
Okay, come on. That Q was never on that show.
No, he saw like a broken statue of himself, and he wasn't supposed to see it, and then he realized like the inscription was in memory of the creator of the Federation or something like that.
Yeah, he was the first president of the Federation, but that never happens on screen.
Yeah, well, it happened in the book, and then like he had to go back and stop this cataclysm from happening that shredded the Federation apart. It's actually a really well done book. I was pretty impressed. And then the show was just ugh.
The first season was like here's the thing with Enterprise. The concept was good. The execution was very bad. They say the premise of the show was to show the origins of the Federation, but they forgot that for the first 3 seasons, and then they remembered
that got 3 seasons.
No, it got 4 seasons.
Oh my god!
And the first season
how
was.
How does that? Not to interrupt you, but how does that get 4 seasons? But fucking Firefly gets 1
because it wasn't on Fox.
Oh, but it kills me. Why?
If Firefly was on UPN, then I'm sure it would have gotten more than 1 season. Fox kills good science fiction. That show with the dude who plays Bones in the new movie, Almost Human. That was a really good show.
Was it the one with the detective?
Yeah.
That got killed too?
Yeah, that got why? Because that technology was going mainstream, and that conspiracy I was talking about, they couldn't have it.
Yeah, that was a good show, and they killed that after 1 season. And science fiction doesn't last on Fox. I don't know why people pitch science fiction to Fox. But the thing with Enterprise was that they forgot about the mission. The goal of the show was to show, again, the foundations of the Federation until season 4. Then season 4, they start getting back into that, and it starts getting good. Season 4 is really good.
And then they axe it.
And then they cancel it. and then not only do they cancel it, they give it the worst, most insulting final episode of any Star Trek.
It was the Riker and the holodeck, right?
Yes.
Now, see, the only reason I like that is because I like The Next Generation, but it's like you said, it's insulting.
The only reason I vaguely like the concept is because it takes place during an actual episode of the Next Generation.
Oh. Don't they splice things somehow?
No, they don't splice anything, but they say when it's happening, and it's happening during an episode of The Next Generation, which is cool. But none of this stuff happens on scene, so it's like when Riker's not in that, on screen in that episode of Next Generation,
cool.
He's in the holodeck in this simulation watching the events of Enterprise, which, that's a cool concept. But for the final episode, because people are like, wait a minute, so does that mean all of Enterprise was just a holodeck simulation?
I would assume so.
It's because they never show the chef throughout the show. They always mention the galley on Enterprise. They always mention the galley, and they say, oh, Chef prepared this great meal. Chef did this. Chef is awesome. But they never show Chef.
Hey there, children.
Suck on my chocolate spacey balls. Put them in your mouth and go to warp drive.
Dude, that was awful. I can't even give you points on that one.
Oh, that was fucking clever.
No.
But they never mention, they never show Chef. Then they just call him Chef. And then in the final episode, they show Chef, and it's Riker. He is the chef. So it's like
fucking hilarious.
Fuck you.
That's such a kick in the nuts.
It is. And then they kill, spoiler, they kill Trip for no reason other than it's the final episode. So that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So they had.
That's like Star Wars. They get to the very end. They just about to roll credits. You know what I mean? And it just goes back to Tatooine, and it's just Luke playing with his fucking zoom zoom zoom. Just before fucking.
He went to Tashi Station, and there was a VR station, and that's all it was.
And then a panel of explodium blows up and kills him.
Yeah, it just. God, that's fucking awful.
All right, Aaron, your turn. You give us your thoughts on Star Trek's birthday. What do you like? What do you don't like? What inspired you? Come on, let's hear it.
Well, Star Trek started with me with The Next Generation, obviously.
Yes!
Well, we're of that generation, so.
I just remember, like, sitting down and where I'd eat my dinner would be at the coffee table, because I had an unusually large coffee table, just watching Star Trek The Next Generation. And then, like, after that, it was, like, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was, like, or the CW's fucking, like, that was their golden years, baby. But, so there was that, I mean, I used to watch it religiously. I can't remember one fucking episode except for the black ooze that killed,
Yara?
what's her name?
Tasha
and
Yar.
also
Yar.
guest starred in an episode of Punky Brewster. Like,
The Black Goo or Tasha Yar?
the black goo.
It's gonna be Punky Brewster can get that goo.
Ooh.
No, that same monster appeared in Punky Brewster's Halloween episode.
Oh, shit! I remember that now. Holy crap.
Dude, holy shit, way to bring it back.
Yeah, I told
Wow.
you. Deep cuts.
Yeah, dude. Wow.
That ooze black goo. So,
what was
I don't know,
your
maybe black goo is just so traumatizing to me I can remember it in all these different fucking movies and TV shows. But
what was that your favorite episode?
God, I hope
no,
not.
it's just the one I remember the most.
Dude, my absolute
Like,
favorite
out of
episode
everything.
has to be Chain of Command Part 1 and 2. What is that, season 5, 6? Dude, that fucking... four lights!
Yeah, the Borg ones are obviously like the best ones. I just rewatched last week or 2 weeks ago First Contact, and it's just amazing.
First Contact is when they made the Borg even cooler.
Yeah, that's when it went fucking awesome, and there was time travel and Borg. How, like, you can't get any better than that.
I remember seeing... Was it First... But that was the first movie, right?
That was the second Next Generation
What
movie.
was the first one?
Generations.
Generations.
Where Kirk and...
See, I remember my dad renting that from Major Video before it was Blockbuster.
And before Blockbuster bought all the major videos, and then all of them went out of
Because
business.
something about
I mean,
that...
Massive Video?
What?
Massive Video, not Major Video?
No, it was Major. There was Major, Massive, Nap, and Blockbuster.
Yeah, there was like it was like the knockoff one.
But what was it? It had, I want to say on the cover or on the back cover, it had the silhouette of, I can't remember exactly who it was, on like a cliff with his arms out, and there was like this wave of energy coming towards him.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that being cool. But I remember seeing one of them was First Contact, the one when they walked on the outside of the ship. It was Data and Worf.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, not it was Worf, Picard, and the obligatory red shirt.
Oh, okay. I believe
He
I saw that
actually,
in theaters.
I forget who he was. He's like a pretty good actor now. Like,
Yeah,
a
he's
big actor.
he's like a quasi famous actor, and I don't think he was as famous yet when First Contact came out, but
No, he definitely was, but I don't remember his name. I just remember going, "Hey, it's that guy."
Wesley Crusher. What's his
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. He plays such a good snarky little douchebag. Have you seen the show Dark Matter?
No.
Dark Matter is not a bad show. It's pretty good. It's made for sci-fi. It's on Netflix. I'd check it out if I were you. Only the first season's out, but I believe they got cleared for his second season recently. Not a bad show at all. He plays like a douchey, like scientist guy. And he has like a neck beard and everything. Dude, he does such a good job. So I recommend it.
As far as like Star Trek, I never got into the older Star Treks. I just started. I'm still kind of watching the first Star Trek and Next Generation. I'm kind of like whenever I get bored or
First Star Trek. You mean original series?
Original series.
Okay.
I'm kind of like watching them whenever I get a free day. Basically, and I want to like draw stuff. I'll put it on the background.
I want to go back and watch all of the Next Generation. See if it stacks up in my head like
The
it does.
first two seasons are dog shit.
Well, it's funny too because
Watch the documentary on Netflix. It's called like Trouble on the Bridge or something like that, and it's essentially about the first two seasons of Generation and how much of a hell it was, because Gene Roddenberry, he had this vision of Star Trek,
Douche.
which was
Steve Jobs.
sort of. I mean, he had this vision for Star Trek, and it was great. It was this optimistic vision of humanity. When you boil down Star Trek, even Deep Space Nine, where people say, "Oh, that's the dark Star Trek," it's like, No, I mean it's darker, but it's my favorite show, and I'll get into mine after you guys. It's my favorite show because it's the most human and realistic of the shows, and it still holds true to the vision of Star Trek, where in the future, this optimistic vision of the future.
They're hopeful.
Yeah,
right?
and that's a big thing that I think we need more in science fiction right now. But
Well, the
that
thing about
documentary
Gene
shows.
Roddenberry's the thing about, because I watched it too, that Gene Roddenberry like vision, like the writers were like, okay, let's do this for the show, and he's like, no, like basically everyone's robots, no, because everyone gets along, so no one has any political correctness to deal with, and they just go about their business. No sex, no nothing.
Right.
And he's like, well, this is going to be the most boring fucking show we've ever come out with, ever.
Right, he came up with
over
the
to Next
concept.
Generation. That's why Next Generation was so dull in the first couple seasons.
Well,
until
yeah,
Gene
because he
Roddenberry
came up
died.
with the concept, and initially it's a great concept, and people were like, oh, wow, Gene, you're such a visionary, and then he like bought into this idea that he was a visionary, and
Lucas
even
Roddenberry.
worse, Lucas. I can. Despite all the shit we talk about Lucas, I can still appreciate what he does because he did it from an artistic standpoint. I understand it. He sees Star Wars. It's his creation. It's his piece of art. It's never finished. He's always altering it. I understand that because I also have trouble finishing my own artwork and stuff like that.
You ever go back to something you considered finished like 3 years ago and be like, a little tweak right there?
See, I'm sort of like George Lucas, where I don't see anything I've ever done as finished.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's
Right.
what I was just talking about.
So I can understand Lucas on that part. That's a whole other podcast right there.
Oh, yeah.
But with Gene Roddenberry, he went mad with his own vision of greatness, this delusion of grandeur that people said he was this awesome thing, and then he believed it and he bought into it. And so, I mean, that's why the original series was canceled after 2 seasons, because season 3 was such bullshit. So, Next Generation, he brought in the same people from season 3, essentially, and the first 2 seasons of the original series. He brought in D.C. Fontaine, which wrote some of the best episodes of Star Trek ever from the original series. So he brought these people in, but then he was tyrannical about his control over the series. To the point where like they had to find legal ways to take it away from him.
Jesus.
And that's why we're ladies and gents, we're gonna do a thing soon, hopefully that you're gonna love. And we're calling it Master Geek Theater, and I'm not even gonna go into detail on it because I'm gonna keep the surprise. But one of the things I want to do is Star Trek the Motion Picture. Star Trek the Motion Picture is the complete antithesis of did I say that correctly?
Antithesis.
Almost.
Antithesis. I knew
You gotta add the th.
It's the complete antithesis of all the J.J. Abrams movies. It's slow as fuck. It is a 2-hour-long camera panning slowly over everything movie. And that's because Gene Roddenberry went batshit crazy.
I like the way you wound up for that.
I had to think about the proper way to term.
I felt like I got hit with that bet.
He went fucking nuts with power in that movie. With just how it's his movie. I'm the creator. He wouldn't let it be made without him being a huge part of it, and it did terrible at the box office. I'll lay it on the table. It's one of my guilty pleasures. I watched it just last week. I watch it a few times a year. It's hard to watch, but for me it's fun to watch. But after that movie, they went, wow, we have to take Star Trek away from this guy. And he was completely excluded from the Wrath of Khan, with the exception of I think they gave him a executive consultant title to it.
Well, we've seen in the prequels, and I know you made the case for him and all that, but just because you're able to craft a universe doesn't mean that you're going to be good at making stories that we can view within the context of that universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, especially if you're drunk on your own power.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I would say Lucas sort of got that to the point where he knew he had cool things available, ideas, but he went, no, this is what I want. So
Just make it funnier.
make it for kids. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. So you were going to talk about Deep Space Nine.
Well, I'll let Aaron finish. Besides Next Generation, like any of the other ones, Voyager, DS9, Enterprise.
I tried, but I couldn't get into it for some reason.
I remember Voyager, and I tried getting into Voyager too. But the only thing I really liked about that show was the fact that the warp nacelles moved on the ship when it was going into hyperspace. Yeah. That was the coolest thing about that was the intro. I remember going into warp. The rest of the show was shit.
Again,
I even tried getting into Deep Space Nine like a couple months ago because Cuba, a year ago, Cuba kept saying, "Oh, it's the best," and I watch it. I'm like, "This is awful."
See, the thing with every Star Trek, with the exception of the original series. The original series, the first 2 seasons are great. It made Star Trek. They're fucking great. Every other Star Trek, I would say at least the first 2 seasons are shit.
They take a while to get.
They do. Next Generation, it doesn't get good till Riker grows a beard. That's season 3. Deep Space Nine doesn't get good until they get to Defiant. That's season 3 or season 4.
Jesus.
I think it's the beginning of season 3.
You expect me to sit through fucking 4 seasons of bad Star Trek just to get to the good
Deep Space
stuff?
Nine is not the worst of the Star Treks. Voyager doesn't get good until season 4 when they fucking get serious. Yeah. And Enterprise doesn't get good till season 4 and then they get canceled. So it's hard. It's hard, but I mean some of the worst Star Trek is some of the most entertaining. I will definitely say that.
Well, yeah.
That's true. I'm on Next Generation. The episode I'm at right now is where they land on the planet that's all about like pleasure, but you can't walk on the grass. You can't walk on the grass or you get murdered. But like that, it's so bad. The costumes are fucking awful, but you're like, this is fantastic. I can't believe this is on television.
Well, it's funny because even when you look on Netflix and you see the list, you can see they have little what do you call it?
The ratings?
No, not the ratings. They have the little picture of like what's going on in that episode.
Oh yeah.
So when you go from season 2 to season 3, it's funny to say that you can see the difference in production value.
Oh yeah.
Like even like the costumes seem brighter and everything, just like the camera is better. Just in that one little fucking picture, that one frame, you're like, God damn, what happened?
Yeah, well, Next Generation that's also on Netflix remastered, and it's funny watching that because again, that's the one that we all grew up with. That's the one we're all the most familiar with. It's funny. It was never meant to be watched in HD. The comm badges are so clearly fake, which you never notice in standard definition. All the control panels, they all have fingerprints. They apparently don't have Windex in the 24th century.
They don't need it.
They were so lazy on that show. Even in the later seasons, they were so lazy because in standard definition, no one's gonna see that. No one ever anticipated being able to see people's pores on television. So it is kind of funny to be able to see that, but going back to Next Generation and some of the terrible, awesome episodes of the first 2 seasons is, I don't know if you've gotten to it yet, Aaron, but what about the one where they go to like the African planet? It's like the most racist episode of Star Trek ever. They go to this planet that's completely populated by these black people that are all like Zulu tribe like inspired, and the king, whose name may or may not be Mufasa. I do not remember. Honestly, do not remember.
Yeah, and they have to play on the jungle gym.
They have to play on the jungle gym, and then like he wants Tasha Yar, but he's already married, but she's not interested in him. But as a matter of honor, she has to like fight his current wife to the death with like poison-tipped blades.
Jesus.
It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know why it's racist, though. I mean, that shit probably actually happens over in Africa. Why is that racist?
It's not Africa!
Yes, I did see that, by the way.
Yes, good. That's That's a fantastically great one.
This is going to be an episode in itself.
Yeah, well, it's 50 years of Star Trek. It's a big thing. I'll keep mine brief. I love all Star Trek. Out of all of you combined, I know the most and love it the most, and it's second to Star Wars for me. Yeah, it goes for me. It goes Star Wars, Star Trek.
So Star Wars is first.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, I thought you said second too.
It is second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought for some reason I flipped that in my head. Okay.
No.
All right. Good.
Yeah,
Knuckles. Give me those knucks.
Yeah.
Star Wars first.
Yes. Star Wars first.
I was about to flip this fucking table.
Star Trek. Then I'm thinking maybe. See, this is tough. How do I rank it? Maybe B5, Battlestar Galactica. And then...
Did you go Babylon 5 before Battlestar?
That's a fantastic story.
I never got into Babylon 5.
The effects do not hold up, but they don't. They do not hold up at all. But it is a great science fiction story.
Where's Stargate in there?
What was that? So I'm at 4. Stargate's not in the top 5. Maybe like 6, 7. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what number 5 would be.
What's
favorite.
Mass Effect?
That's a video game. Doesn't count.
Oh. See, I feel like Firefly would be higher, but there just isn't enough of it.
Right. Yes.
Like that's such a just a jewel that they just fucking dropped and shattered, man.
That
could have been a top 3. Could have been a top 3.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But if they done fucked it up.
Yep. So Next Generation. I can't even say it's my most. I don't even know, man. I don't even know how to classify it. It's because I love it all. Like, I love Next Generation, but I love Deep Space Nine. That Next Generation, I remember I have more fond memories of because, like I said,
nostalgic.
Right? Yeah, like that's the one. Well, Deep Space Nine too. The Next Generation was the one where I told you where I was waiting at daycare, and I need to see. And this is my introduction to Star Trek. I eventually ended up watching Star Trek with my dad, but I had to discover it on my own. I know. Giant. That fly's the size of a fucking fist.
It really is, man. Like I said, you got flies down here that's like they're like thumbs with wings. I don't fucking understand.
So, Deep Space Nine is nostalgic because I think it might have been. It wasn't the first science fiction. Star Wars is the first science fiction I encountered, but it's the first science fiction I think I ever encountered on television.
That was serious? Well, because the way I've heard it described is that basically Deep Space Nine is like...
No. I'm talking about Next Generation.
Oh, I thought you said Deep Space Nine.
No, Next Generation, I'm saying, like, nostalgic-wise, it introduced me to science fiction television.
Yeah.
Where I think after that, in the birthing years of the Sci-Fi Channel, I watched all of the original Battlestar Galactica, all of Buck Rogers, like all the great classic sci-fi because that's all they had on there before they started making really shitty TV movies.
Sharknado and shit.
Yeah. So like
Swamp People.
Swamp People from Uranus.
Swamp People trying to get in Uranus.
So
with fucking alligators by the throat.
So that's what Next Generation is to me. I mean, great stories too, but Deep Space Nine I watched with my dad, but also, like I said earlier, it is the most human, real, and that's why Captain Sisko is my favorite of all the captains, and that's why my son, despite what my wife says, is partially named after Captain Ben Sisko because he is such a great fucking character. Where Kirk is the womanizing cowboy, and Picard is the stuffy diplomat. Janeway's the scientist.
He's the stuffy wiffle bat.
He's a stuffy wiffle bat with a sniffle doodle.
Humbledorf.
A humbledink. Archer is just grumpy.
Yeah,
That's the worst thing about Enterprise is Archer is grumpy. You are literally the first human explorer ever, like, to the frontier. He is the first human to see all these things, to go further than any human has ever gone before, and he's pissed off all the time for no reason, and he has his dog. But
Do you want a shitty 3 seasons? Because that's how you get a shitty 3 seasons.
absolutely, yeah, great Archer reference.
Thank you.
But Cisco is not only the best captain, but the best character because he is the most human. He is the most like, wow, that's what I would do. Every Star Trek captain has had to make difficult moral decisions, but Cisco has had to make a lot of them. I mean, he's complicit in the murder, like the plot to murder a Romulan senator to get the Romulans into the war against the Dominion.
Oh, shit.
It's like, that was a fucking great episode.
Okay.
You know, he punched Q in the face.
Nice.
Like, that was the one time Q was on Deep Space Nine. And he like
don't listen to him. This is what got me starting to watch Deep Space Nine, and it wasn't worth it.
You didn't go long enough. But Q was on Deep Space Nine. He did like an old timey like boxing like put up your oaks, mole type of thing, and like Cisco's just sitting there, and the Q is literally like sitting there punching him, and Cisco's like just taking the punches, and then he just looks at him, punches Q right in the nose. He falls to the ground. He goes, but you hit me. Picard never hit me. And he goes, I'm not Picard.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was fucking
That's
great.
cool.
He's a great character. He's so human. He's emotional. He's very emotional.
He's black.
So why do we have to?
because he's angry. I don't know.
He's not an angry
he
black
just
man.
punched a guy in the face.
He punched an annoying alien in the face. Do you know how many annoying aliens Kirk punched in the face?
True. That's very true.
He is the best and worst of all the captains put together. That's what I like about him.
Well, he sounds flawed, which makes for a great character.
And he starts off flawed. Like Kirk, we don't have a backstory to him, essentially. Like throughout the entire run of the original series, there's no backstory to Kirk. Picard, we come to know him. He doesn't have a family. He's strictly a career man. You know, he's stuffy. They do it best on Next Generation that nobody likes being stuck in the turbo lift with him because it's like, what do you talk to him about? Yeah. You know, he's not personable.
No, but he's very cultured. He's probably the ultimate gentleman.
He is.
You know?
He is, but he's also like somewhat lacking in like social skills. And to their credit, he works on that.
Yeah.
Throughout. I mean, it's not until the last 2 seconds of the final episode of the series that he plays poker with his senior officers. But I mean, that's him trying, you know.
That was his character development.
Right, exactly. And again, Janeway's personable, but and she's a strong female character, but this is, I don't know, she's also a little too strict on the rules. When you're trapped 75,000 light years from home, realistically, there's no way you would be following the rules as strictly as they did on that show.
About fucking 6 days in that far away, you're coming back off planets wearing fucking animal skins.
Oh, yeah. There was never a single orgy on that ship. And you know on a voyage, if it's going to take you 70 years to get home at maximum speed, you know there are some fucking orgies going on in that ship.
Well, they gotta have babies. They don't want to die out. Battlestar.
And then, like I said, Archer's just grumpy. Nobody likes Archer. He's just unlikable. But Cisco is all the good and all the bad. And that's what's so great about him. He makes the wrong choices. He makes great choices. He's stuck with this amazing burden of being a Starfleet officer and essentially the Jesus to the Bajorans, which is like, which Deep Space Nine dealt with religion, which no other Star Trek show dealt with, and that was great. I mean, and part of the greatness of Deep Space Nine is that it was written and run partly by Ron D. Moore, who did the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. Mm-hmm. So
I heard that a lot of that of Deep Space Nine is kind of like, imagine like
we're on Stitcher now. Like I just got the email.
Woo! It's like imagine World War II in space.
What, Deep Space Nine?
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. I mean, by the later seasons, it's sort of by season. Like 5, 6, and 7.
Moral ambiguity and, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, they take this idea of this is the perfect future, and they question it. And that's probably why none of these guys have written on Star Trek again, is because they're like, hey, we love Star Trek. This is great, but we have questions. If Roddenberry was alive, Deep Space Nine would have never gotten made. Ever. There's no way that dude would have let it get made. Humans don't...
That's why George Lucas isn't allowed to do Star Wars anymore, because the fans have been dealing with it for years and years, and we had questions. Goddamn.
He just walks in he's like, can I say something? And Disney's like, no. Somebody, please take George away.
All right, question.
Yes.
Who takes it? Sisko or Adama?
Takes what?
Takes it in what way?
In the face. No, who takes the cake? Who's the better? Not just the better captain, but in a head-to-head. Just the two of them. Not in like a boxing ring, but qualities, leadership. God, this is kind of like harkening back to Versus the Verses in our old podcast. But I'm only asking you because you're such a fan of both.
Well, see, it's hard. I mean, I would say Adama has the edge.
I feel like they punch
militarily.
I feel like they punch the shit out of each other and then like go get a drink.
Possibly.
Make fun of Picard on the way.
See, the thing is, Sisko is a very important part of the war towards the end of Deep Space Nine, but he's not, and he's not the best tactician. I mean, essentially he does a suicide run in one episode, and pretty much he says, "Fortune favors the bold." That was his thing. The fleet couldn't make it through. His ship made it through, and he said, he's like, "Did anybody else make it?" They're like, "No, they're still caught up fighting." He goes, "Fortune favors the bold. Let's go." That's some balls, but essentially he knew they were gonna go die. Where I feel Adama would have. Adama's more of a strategist. He would have had a better tactical idea.
He would have had something in his back pocket.
I mean, the situation, I don't know if anybody could have come out of that any better if your ship's the only ship to make it through. But either way, I mean, human-wise, again, I have to go with Sisko being the most human, because he starts off as the most human. Going back to. We never really know about the other captains human-wise, or they're just different. Sisko starts off with, he has a family. He has a wife, and he has a kid. In the very first episode, his wife dies and is killed by Picard by accident, but when Picard is a Borg. Sisko is a lieutenant on one of the ships that gets destroyed, of the fleet of 20 ships that are trying to stop it before it gets to Earth. And so he sees on the view screen Picard as a Borg, and the ship's so damaged they have to abandon ship, and he goes to his quarters. He hands his 3-year-old son off to another crew member to take him to an escape pod, but his wife is crushed to death under a pillar, and he has to be carried away kicking and screaming before the ship explodes because he's trying to save her even though she's already dead. So right away, you see his humanity, and then when he gets command of Deep Space Nine, it's handed off to him by Picard. The Enterprise is the Enterprise is there. I mean, it's 3 or 4 years later, but the Enterprise is there, and it's Deep Space Nine is yours now, and he is so cold to Picard. Everybody else who ever meets Picard is "Oh, Captain, this is such an honor," and Sisko is so cold to him. Picard goes, "Have we met before?" He goes, "Yes, we have." He goes, "At the Battle of Wolf 359. And Picard just goes, shit. You can tell in his face, fuck. He eventually, it warms up ever so slightly. But I mean, right away they set this up as this is a man. Picard didn't have a family. Kirk didn't have a family. Archer didn't have a family. Janeway had a boyfriend that she mentioned in 2 episodes. This is a guy who had a family, and part of his family was killed
by the main character of
another show. So right away.
That is one thing I've always liked about Star Trek, is that generally they try to lead one into they give you callbacks somewhat. I feel I remember you see ships. Was it Deep Space Nine where you see in the first episode you see the Enterprise basically pull up
Yeah, well, like I said, Picard
Yeah.
gives off the command to Deep Space Nine.
So I
to
mean,
him.
it's cool that you kind of get that taste of you know what I mean, shows flowing into each other.
Yeah.
It makes it all one continuous.
So we'll see how this continues. How hopefully another 50 years of Star Trek. We'll see how this continues with Star Trek Discovery. Sounds like it's going to be interesting. My only complaint is how ugly the fucking ship is. Yeah. But it's a veteran writer of Star Trek who is the showrunner, so that's good. It sounds interesting. He's got a plan. He's got an arc. Takes place in the Prime universe, not the J.J. Abrams universe. Mm-hmm. I don't like the time frame, but again, we'll see. I'm excited. I am not paying to sign up for CBS streaming to see it, so I'm not sure how I'm going to see it. But
yeah, seriously, CBS, eat a banana and fucking get your shit together.
Netflix
or some Amazon.
Yeah.
I watched The Tick, by the way.
Oh.
Side note.
Hey, happy birthday, Star Trek. How was The Tick?
Well, we just dedicated an entire hour to Star Trek.
Yeah, and it just ended.
Okay.
Is this the final? We wrapping it up after this?
I don't know. We'll see.
Recording for an hour and a half, I think.
Hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I have actually
so the
one
Tick.
more segment, but
So I watched The Tick on Amazon. It's only a half an hour, which that's pretty fucked up. They started off pretty okay. It's a little stupid for its own good. Like obviously it's a Tick. It's supposed to be kind of stupid, but it's a little bit too stupid.
see, I think the last live action show was actually stupider. And I know that's not a word.
I didn't like the last action. Like the guy who they got to play the Tick and the Tick outfits and shit, that was on point, but the actual show itself was like just mediocre and childish at best. It should have been the better age bracket. But this one, they do try and take on the serious tone similar to like the Jessica Joneses, obviously, but it does come off a little bit corny.
Doesn't it feel like it ended
in the middle of an episode?
Right,
You're
yeah.
Like,
it should be I feel like it's an hour long, and they're like, just give them 30 minutes and see what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Jessica Jones, that's a nice little tidbit right there. I actually watching Jessica Jones now, currently.
A year later.
I know, man. I'm so far behind on all my fucking Netflix.
We should just start talking about Stranger Things right now.
No.
Your window's closing.
Ah, man, look, I can only do so much. You know, I mean, you guys feel free to talk about it. I'll go. I'll head out. You guys can talk about it all you want.
No, quick. What are your thoughts on Jessica Jones? Have you finished it? Are you in the middle of it?
I'm in the middle of the middle of the season. Really, really liking it. I mean, there's
Jessica.
Dude, David Tennant. That's one of the Doctor Who's, right? Or the Doctor.
He's the 10th Doctor. Yeah.
Dude, he can play such a good creep.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Dude, his range is great. You know. But solid acting, the visuals, the cinematography are all great. I mean, I expected
Marvel with sex.
Yeah. Oh, dude, holy shit, those sexy. In the very first episode when she meets Luke Cage, did he bang her in the ass?
They didn't explicitly show it.
Nope. I'm pretty sure they did, because he's on top of her, and they're going, and she goes, ow, and he goes, oh, geez, sorry, and she says, oh, it's okay, you know, you're not gonna break me, and he just looks and he just says, oh, I will. And then you see a little bit of movement with her hands, and she kind of like moves around like just a little bit, and then you see him go, like his eyes go, oh, ooh, and then he goes, and then she's like, oh, fuck it, and then she flips over and they just go at it. But I think Jessica Jones.
I don't remember that. I'm gonna have to watch that again.
I remember that, but I mean, I just took it as like they're both invulnerable, so she's squeezed him tighter than he's ever been squeezed. But I guess you can look at it as there was a little backdoor action.
In that situation, once or twice, Cuba, pretty sure. That's what happened. Go back.
Roy's the resident expert on this podcast and things like this.
Now we have to go back and look at all the sex scenes in the Marvel movies.
But I expected nothing less after Daredevil. I'm already excited for the Luke Cage series.
Oh yeah.
I honestly, what excites me about this is I didn't know shit about Daredevil. I didn't know shit about Jessica Jones. I don't know shit about Luke Cage. I don't know anything about he's what, Iron Fist?
Iron Fist is the next one coming out.
Yeah, that's Luke Cage, right?
No. Iron
Who's-
Fist
No,
is
it's
a
a
different
different
guy.
Then Luke Cage, what is he? Just an
Just
invulnerable black dude?
Luke Cage.
He's just
Yeah.
Luke Cage.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't know these things. So this,
Did you see that meme that said like Marvel takes characters you didn't care about and makes you care about them, and DC
Yeah.
takes characters you do care about and shits all over them?
It's so true. It really is true. I mean, Jessica Jones is. When they said they were going to make a Jessica Jones show, I'm like, really? That throwaway comic that very few people read? That was like part of like the Marvel Knights run. That was like when they sort of like were skirting the comics code of conduct, and she wasn't even a superhero. Like, I mean, the show was pretty accurate to the comic. That was cool. They did such a good job with it. And then Luke Cage, like, wow, they're actually making a Luke Cage show. That's pretty amazing. And nobody likes Iron Fist, but they're making an Iron Fist show.
and I have faith in them because they
Oh, yeah,
made me
absolutely.
like these other characters that. I mean, dude, coming off of the Daredevil with Ben Affleck. Could you ever imagine watching that movie that years later you would see the Netflix version of it and actually enjoy it? Like,
Well, I mean, because the Netflix version of Daredevil is it's Daredevil.
I know.
And it's and I'll say it, and I don't think many people disagree with me. The second season of Daredevil is fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Way better than the first season.
And that's not taken away from the first season.
No,
either,
the
'cause-
first season is really good, but the second season of Daredevil, and both seasons, but the second season especially, is so the Frank Miller run of Daredevil. When Daredevil, the only time in the history of Daredevil when Daredevil comics were good was when Frank Miller was writing Daredevil, and the second season nailed it so perfectly, and with the everything with the hand, the Daredevil's teacher, the Punisher was just icing on the cake. Yeah. If the Punisher wasn't included in that season, it would still be phenomenal because it's like this is everything that made Daredevil good until Frank Miller stopped writing Daredevil and he became stupid again.
Yeah, dude, you gotta be. You can't tell me that you can't in your mind's eye see Frank Castle going, Rick, get out of here, Rick.
No,
totally
seriously, just
honestly, after such a great job he did as Frank Castle, I can't picture him as Shane anymore.
I know, it's
he
weird.
is he is
It's
Frank
weird.
Castle. He is the Punisher from now on. Even when I go back and watch the Kevin Jane movie with John Travolta as the back,
Oh
no,
my
that
God.
one wasn't bad. That
Was
was
it the one where he was using the popsicle on his back and saying it was a blow?
yeah.
Dude, no.
That was an okay one.
The actor who played him is great.
Yeah.
I don't think that wasn't his fault. That
No,
was just
John Travolta was a bad guy, but
Yeah, the last time he was a good bad guy in my eyes was when
Face
was
Off?
Face Off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, which is one of those movies that you hate to love and love to hate.
that was when Christian Slater was still pretty.
Yeah, I like that.
Marvel can pick. I don't even know how more obscure they can get. I don't care who Marvel picks. They put it on Netflix, it's gonna be great. And so that's why I'm a little miffed about. I know I just said miffed. I'm a little miffed about Agents of Shield. I only saw the first 2 episodes. I couldn't stand that fucking show.
I heard it got really
Yeah, that's
good.
what everybody says, and I have to.
Well, you
bring
give,
myself
give
to
Star
it.
Trek the first 2 seasons.
See, I gave Agents of Shield like a whole season. I got to the end of season 1 and I was just like, no.
I feel it would have been better on Netflix, but
It would have been.
They're introduced
You
like
could have had like an X-Files kind of mojo to
Yeah.
it where it would feel more adult. They're dealing with heroes. There's like people actually getting killed. It wasn't like this CW garbage like friggin' Vampire Diaries but with superheroes.
right.
You know.
Yeah.
The best episodes that they came out with for S.H.I.E.L.D. was right after Civil War came out, when you found out like that the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were all Hydra agents, and they incorporated that into the show and made like some of the main characters like integral into that. Like they were actual Hydra agents, and I was like, oh, cool. But then it's like they never really did anything with it that was of significance where I'd continue watching it.
Yeah, that's what I hear. It's just like constant. Like it got better, but it's just constant mediocrity. And I'm excited, but then also bummed because they're introducing Ghost Rider into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I'm like, why? Why aren't they putting Ghost Rider on Netflix? That's where can you imagine like Ghost Rider in did Frank Castle and fucking Daredevil universe? Like, Ghost Rider isn't a CW character.
No, but animating the flames would take up their entire budget for the year.
It'd be worth it.
I know.
I'm not even saying a Ghost Rider show. I'm just saying like 2-3 episodes with Ghost Rider. And that's the beauty about Ghost Rider is that you can have him in his human form most of the time. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I would love to see in live action his penitent stare, but we already saw that with fucking Nicolas Cage. But ignoring that, like, if they did that gritty fucking Netflix style, God, that'd be awesome. I'm picturing fucking Indiana Jones when the Nazi melts. You know?
Well, I don't think Ghost Rider can actually live on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like maybe he's playing like a small part just so they can test the waters of where he is as like a fan base because of those shitty fucking Nicolas Cage movies. Like, did you see the second one that was directed by the dude who did Crank?
No,
so it
I
was
only
all
saw
fucking
half the
weird and
first
crazy.
one.
Oh my god!
I actually left the theater during that movie. We just left. We're like, this is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Just got up and walked out. You can count next time if we ever do for like Master Geek Theater or whatever. We'll have to count how many times he lets half the chain fall out of his hand while still holding the other end, and then tuck his head into his shoulder and lift up his arm and go, "You." Yeah. That's it. That's what he does. He just lets half that go, and it's like, you know, the camera's down by his knee, so you just see the chain fall, and then he just points. He does it like a dozen times throughout the movie.
Ghost Rider was such a cool character too. I can't believe those movies. First of all, I couldn't believe there was a sequel, but those movies fucked it up so bad.
Well, I think it might be a good idea, like just like I said, to test the water. But then they also bring that same actor, whoever they're getting to play on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., into a Netflix show and do like that crossover shit.
It's also interesting, like I said, in one of our messages that we have together is that they're going with the current Ghost Rider, which is not the classic Ghost Rider. He doesn't ride a motorcycle. He's got like a 72 Dodge Charger, and he's like a hot rod dude, like a muscle car guy, and he's a young guy. I think he's like a Hispanic dude or something like that. He's young. It's not. I forgot his name because I honestly haven't followed it.
Are they just checking boxes, or is it like legit? Like, does it work?
What do you mean?
Are they just checking boxes? Like, you got to get a Latino guy in here, and let's give him some muscle cars because those Latinos.
I don't know. I haven't followed the series. It's been going on for 2 years now, I think, comic book wise, with this new Ghost Rider. It's just interesting that that's the Ghost Rider they chose, because both the original and then the follow up, Dan Ketch was the previous Ghost Rider, and then Johnny Blaze was the original Ghost Rider. They are the two far more famous Ghost Riders, comic book wise, and maybe even for people who don't even know comic books.
I don't think it's that like off base, because I'm looking at the artwork for him now on Google, and he's the most practical. Basically, he's a mask with like that's flaming, so it's not actually like a skeleton where they'd have to actually use CG.
Yeah, but
every 5 seconds.
The trailer for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. clearly showed a flaming skull.
Well, I'm sure they'll use it to introduce him, but they show like a mask for the comic book. He's like wearing a mask that just flames.
Yeah, yeah. His look is interesting. It's reminiscent of Johnny Blaze, but no, it's weird. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Ow.
So we're running extra long on this. I think I got nothing. Well, I have more. We could fucking talk forever, man.
I know.
But we can't
Well,
because
what else did you have?
Nah, that's another day. It'll take far too long.
All right.
We're an hour and a half in. We're a couple beers in. It's
okay.
We're good. We're toasty.
All right.
We're fun. We're having fun.
Toasty.
We're having fun. That concludes episode 3 of Modern Retro. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you, Roy, for joining me here in my home every day. Every day we just have fun.
We'll wake up in his arms.
Yes.
When it's cold outside and it's raining.
We snuggle.
Oh, we do. Our beards get interlocked.
Takes a little while to get them off.
We need your wife to do it. I remember we woke up one time and she had our little weave together.
She got the patience.
Yeah. I don't know how she deals with us. Well.
I can't see Aaron's face, but I can imagine it's in disgust.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Aaron, for joining. If you open up your closet door to leave your closet studio and your LSD cat is staring back at your soul, I want a picture. You can listen to us on iTunes. Find us there. Rate us. Share if you like what you hear. I'm not saying share for the sake of sharing. If you legit like what you hear, if you laugh, if you have a good time listening to us, give us a rating, give us good feedback, a good review, and share with your friends. Get us on that front page of iTunes. We are also on SoundCloud and now on Stitcher, because I just saw my little corner here on the laptop that I got approved for Stitcher, so we are on Stitcher and SoundCloud. We will have the website up. We are at Twitter at Modern Retro.
Oh, we're on Twitter?
Yeah, we're
we can tweet.
at Modern Retrocast. You can email us at modernretrocast@gmail.com. And when we have the website up, I will give you that address.
And don't be afraid to comment on things, guys. We respond. We enjoy the correspondence. We like conversations. We want to grow this. We want to make it a little haven of sorts.
A little nerdy community on the interwebs is.
Yeah, as if there weren't already enough of those.
Yeah,
but what's
it's your
more?
own. God damn it! If you do not have a group of your own, then we are your goddamn group.
That's right. We will answer. We will talk to you. It'll be a lot of fun.
And like I said, the balls just started rolling on everything, so there's a lot coming up. So enjoy.
So help us with our balls.
Help us with our balls. Hold our balls. Spread the love.
Spread our balls around.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, guys.
Open Klingon style. Klingon style. Kawan rotar, iku saka plajeja. Iwi datu, shakale kuku kerpin badge mau. Nu hostak nik, pormak, magmak shuku hamarush. College hines kupla j, kuda marush. Watcha pormak kupla. Tik with shot ignition, watcha pormak kupla. Tahta mukon, to, watcha pormak kupla. Johnny the Chong, lose na who? Hey Johnny ho, hey, go by hey now, hey. Johnny the Chong, lose na who? Hey Johnny show, hey, go by you know. Hey, masła wędź do pormak, Johnny chop chop, hey. Open Klingon style.